And what up, YouTube types? Welcome to the Daily Space Weather. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. I don't know what's going on in space weather on YouTube, or other sorts of various different types of science-y channels. I don't know what the deal is. It's an interesting, quote, platform, end quote. First thing we're looking at is the Colorized Magnetogram at 171 angstroms to see 6 sunspot groups: 3006, 3007, 3008, 3009, 3010, and 3011. As if that's not enough, the real place to keep your eye on is that region right there, 3007. It's quite complex. It's capable of producing major flares. These rising regions also already producing significant flares. We did see an M-class flare in the past 24. We'll be looking at that, and coronal holes, and CMEs, and more. Here's the last 4 hours of Earth's magnetosphere. It's our geospace magnetosphere movie, showing magnetohydrodynamic pressure over the past 4 hours. And you can see it's pretty homogeneous here. Most of the pressure on the magnetotail non-sun facing side of the planet. Ground magnetic perturbations looking like this over the past 4 hours. Pretty calm. Geospace delta B is a reference to changes to Earth's B field, the field that goes through the magnet, this magnet being the Earth. Again, that's the last 4 hours. This scale is nanotesla magnetic flux density from the ground level. KP index, a measurement of global geomagnetism, is at 2. It's a KP2 for the planetary K index. Next, the real-time solar wind. Let me scroll down a little bit here. And as forecasted, we did see a continued density uptick. It didn't get much over 30 protons per cubic centimeter. I believe I forecasted that yesterday. It's a weak coronal hole wind stream, so we saw the density slowly dip down and then the speed come up, but it's not particularly fast. It only made it up to, didn't even make it up to 400 kilometers per second. And it looks like it may already be subsiding a little bit. Just a little minor coronal hole high-speed stream here on Friday the 13th. As we analyze the activity from Jason Voorhees' star. Current conditions are just under 6 protons per cubic centimeter for the solar wind density, 340 kilometers per second. Still quite a slow and diffuse solar wind speed. Continuing on to the magnetic data, here's the GOES magnetometers over the past 3 days. Nothing too exciting happening there. We are expecting a much stronger coronal hole wind stream. Also, 2 coronal mass ejection strikes. We are expecting a coronal mass ejection strike late in the day universal time tomorrow on the 14th, and late in the day universal time on Sunday, May 15th. Here's the heliospheric current sheet. Earth remains in a North Pole current sheet. No expectations of a change coming anytime soon. We've got 2 well-defined current sheets there. The South Pole shown in red, North Pole shown in green. Here is the line of sight view. Next, coronal holes. We've got massive coronal holes rotating in here of North Pole orientation, shown in green. This is a function of the solar polar field reversal process. As the North Pole becomes the South does likewise with respect to the North. And here's the closest star in 193 angstroms. You can see this well-defined coronal hole. Another pretty well-defined one rotating in here, and these are going to look darker and darker as they get more in the earthly facing zone. Because, folks, the corona is bumpy, and the plasma can hide those coronal hole features, which were not understood until the early 70s, believe it or not. And coronal holes are low-pressure systems, essentially. The pressure is so low that there is material blasting out of them, primarily hydrogen nuclei, also helium nuclei, ionized atoms, atomic nuclei with no electron, also electrons, and other heavy elements blasting out of those coronal holes. That's how low-pressure systems behave on stars. The pressure is so low that they blast material all the way out into their respective solar systems. Next, moving on to sunspots. Again, we've got 6 named groups about to be in place. 3006, 3007, 3008, 3009, 3010 already named, and Jason Voorhees' sunspot is 3011. Will it somehow chase you down in the forest by walking even though you're running? I'm not sure, but I kind of doubt it. It probably poses absolutely no danger to you. And the likelihood that it will end civilization is, let's just say, very, very low. The sunspot to really keep your eye on, and when I say eye on, pardon the pun, is 3007. It's huge. It's got a series of very complex fields, as you can see over here. 3007, 3010, and 3011 are the 3 most interesting sunspots. These 2 by the limb have already produced some flares, including an M-class. We'll get to it. Here's 1700 angstroms. You can see some umbral migration happening here from sunspot 3007. Let's actually zoom in on that a little bit. You can still see the timestamps. Did you know we also put content on BitChute? Yeah, bitchute.com/smashamash, where censorship is less pathetic than it is on some other quote social and quote media websites. We're also on Twitch. We would have already streamed 2 videos live to Twitch by the time you saw this on YouTube. Twitch.tv/smashamash. Yesterday we did another nearly 10-hour live stream. Thanks to everybody who tuned in over there. If you're a larger channel, please host our content and help us out, as we've got 151 followers on Twitch. If you want to support the channel, become a member of the Smash team at the gold or silver level. There is a gold annual paid-up subscription level as well. That's the best value. There's also a bronze level that's entirely free, and if you want to see our main video output, head to smashamash.com/smashteam and click posts to find all of our videos in one convenient link. This is the complimentary merch that you can get by becoming a member of the Smash team at the gold annual paid-up subscription level. It's exclusive to our gold annual paid-up subscription level members. You can find that on our Twitter feed. It's pinned to the top of our Twitter feed, twitter.com/smashamash. If you don't have a Twitter account, I don't know, make one if you like. If you think it's fixed by Elon Musk, it's not fixed at all. It's just as pathetic as it's been for the last several years. Today's featured product is Universum Liberate. If you don't know what it means, I'll bet you can probably look it up. You are on the internet, after all. The symbolism of the Galactic Federation Special Forces unit patch represents the galaxy. That's the spiral. The key represents signals and security, and the lightning bolt represents instant galactic scale reach. So that is the unit patch and the motto of the Galactic Federation Special Forces. If you think you've brought peace to Earth, well, it's time to bring peace to the galaxy. The Space Force probably didn't do it. So we need people who can, and who yearn for freedom. If I could wave my magic wand, I would set everybody free. We'll be modeling this design soon. And once again, I say to each of you, Universum Liberate. You can find links to that and the Smash team at smashamash.com. Welcome to the Neo Renaissance. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. You can find links to our social media. We are all over social media. We haven't forgotten about the paper about the solar polar field reversal and solar sunspot cycles. It's still in the works, folks. We just got a little bit unexpectedly busy due to some significant technical difficulties. Nonetheless, thanks for tuning into our daily space weather videos. Let's get back to some data. So we see the subsiding here of this proton event that was associated with an M-class flare. There were some polar radio blackouts that were a bit long-lasting there. Again, that's now subsiding. No recent spikes. There was an M-class flare yesterday. Let's take a look at the sun from the perspective of flaring. That's your 3 days of solar flares. And let me reiterate, the places to keep an eye on are especially sunspot 3007 and these 2 new regions. That's 3010. This will be named 3011 today. Just spectacular imagery there. Ionized iron in 131 angstroms. It's part of the extreme ultraviolet light spectrum. You can't see these wavelengths from Earth. They must be viewed from space. This imagery from the Solar Dynamics Observatory, or SDO. I think it's my favorite telescope. And thanks to all you stargazers for viewing it. Next, we've brought up a star chart, and for some reason we don't have the ecliptic and galactic plane shown, so let's draw those in. There you go. That's in-the-sky.org. Planetary pileup continues. My star chart faces the south, as I'm facing the south while I make this video. Also, the ecliptic is in that direction. That's the path the sun takes across the sky from the northern hemisphere. As Deneb approaches our zenith. Yeah, Deneb, the brightest intrinsic object visible from our solar system. The tail of the swan. Next, a solar system forecast. As all the planets move to one side of the sun, people are frightened, and they think that an alignment of Venus, Mars, and Saturn are going to kill them or some nonsense like that. It's just not the case. It's ridiculous. The planets aren't going to kill you. Neither is the sun. Enjoy the light show. Here's a forecast for the solar system. There's where things will be on the 20th. We will have a gibbous waning. Last but not least, we'll show coronagraphs. There is some additional ejecta headed our way. Again, I'm expecting a coronal mass ejection strike late in the day tomorrow, the 14th, and late in the day on Sunday, the 15th. But in any case, here are the coronagraphs, and it does look like there is some additional ejecta headed our way. So another about 3 days for that, so probably some additional stuff showing up late in the day on the 16th, maybe early in the day on the 17th. But it certainly looks like some additional, a little more stealthy ejecta there, but you can sort of see from the perspective of stereo A here on the left. For you new viewers, from stereo A, Earth would be off in this direction. And let's go back to the diagram briefly. Stereo A located here at Lagrange 5. Soho Lascaux C3 located there at Lagrange point 1, about 1 million miles toward the sun, between the sun and Earth. And that's where we will close out our daily space weather video. Once again, thanks for tuning in, viewers. Please visit our links and so on. Support the channel. Press like, share, subscribe. Press the notification bell. Maybe you'll get notified when we put out a video. Who knows? In any case, thanks for tuning into the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. And may that solar wind be at your back. Opinions expressed in this video, not necessarily the opinions of Smash News Network, least busted name in news.